Quilty is brought to you by
Baby Lock. Baby Lock sewing and long arm machines. From piecing to long arming for the love of sewing. Aurifil. Aurifil Italian thread. Perfectly suited for all your quilting projects. Dear Stella. A unique fabric brand with modern style. Fairfield. Together, we can make beautiful things. Hovels Sewing. Cut to the point with Hovels Sewing. Moda. Make something quilty with Moda fabrics. Northcott. Cottons that feel like silk. Omnigrid. Providing quilters with specialty rulers and accessories for over 30 years. Hey Quilty fans, it's Mary Fons and Heather Kinion here together to sew. Hi Heather.
Hi Mary.
Man, I love it when you're on the show.
Oh, I love being on the show.
You're like a co-host.
Well, I have been appearing a lot lately.
I am deeming you co-host. Here, I'm going to christen you. Co-host.
All right.
I have the power.
It's true now.
I have the power to do it. So we're going to do a block today, and it's called Melon Patch. It's also called,
Orange peel. It's a very traditional block. It has lots of names.
But it's hot right now. It's really hot. Modern quilters are snatching it up. Mm-hmm. So take us through how you did this, Heather.
So there's lots of tutorials on how to do this where you applique these melon shapes onto the block behind them. So it's a square and a little football or melon shape.
And I just asked you, but I'm going to jump in super, super fast and tell you this is the block. Okay,
yes.
I just wanted to be clear. This is 4 blocks put together. So here's the block, and she's saying football. The peel part is here, and the background is here. Pardon me.
Right.
Continue.
Right. And we did this one to show 4. You can also do it in like a little flower pattern.
It's so cute.
Right.
Right.
And so.
Oh yeah. So you're saying you go like this.
That or like that.
Cool.
And when you do them all scrappy and put them together, you can kind of different ones pop forward or recede. But we pieced these, so it's sewn on either side instead of stitched down onto the top in applique. And the way you do that, because this is a funky shape, you have to use a template. So I made a template that I found actually like free on the internet.
Yeah.
It was just a template. It didn't even belong to a pattern.
No.
Printed it out.
Yep.
I glued it to some heavy duty cardboard.
Which you got from
the bottom of a layer cake makes a great template.
the pre-cut layer cake thing. That cardboard is so thick, it's perfect. I thought that was brilliant.
It's great. Save those when you use the fabric. And so I then cut them out with paper scissors, heavy duty paper scissors to get them to cut through. And then you have 2 pieces, and you need 2 of these for each block and 1 of those for each block.
Cool. So then, once your templates are done, you have to get them onto your fabric, right? You have to trace them.
The great thing about these templates is it's heavy duty enough that you could either trace them and do it, or I could also, on this melon shape especially, use a rotary cutter and just push your blade against it just like you would your ruler and do the curve there.
And you wanted to talk about this one.
So especially if you were doing that with this piece, the smaller rotary cutter can be really helpful to get the tiny, tiny curve on the center.
And we like a safety glove. That goes without saying. We should grab it and put it in. But you
can also, if you're worried about cutting that closely, especially these little bits without a safety glove, you can also just trace them. So I've already sort of traced this one here, but essentially you just put it down. You use either your fabric pencil or pen or marker, or you can even just, because it's the outer edge, you can just trace around the edge with that.
And I find something sort of satisfying about cutting out curved pieces with scissors. And what I do, just sort of get it out to a manageable chunk. And of course, you're using your fabric scissors here. I mean, I kind of like doing this while I'm listening to the radio. Forego the rotary cutter for once, cut out with scissors. So let's sew some of these things.
Let's sew some of these. So the trick with sewing these is in putting them together. And the first step, if you will crease this one for me, Mary, I will crease that one, is to find the middle. On the melon shape, you make the points match, and then you finger press a line into it. And then I start by lining up the middle.
Yeah.
And you stick a pin in it, line up your 2 creases, and then you have to line up your front edge, and this is a little bit tricky because it's a little flippy bit of fabric.
Fancy footwork.
And then you kind of press from either side towards the center, and you want to have this innie curve on the top and the outie curve on the bottom, because the innie curve has more wiggle, and therefore is easier to attach. For the melons, because they're
When you said top and bottom, you meant this side and this side. You want to have this go last? Or...
Well, no, so the melon shape should be on the bottom
Got
of
it.
your, as you pin. So this is the top, and you sew along this top edge.
Got it.
And then you'll pin here too. And you don't need a whole lot, even though it's a little gappy, it'll be fine. The important part is to line up the center and each end, because that's where your accuracy.
If you only have 3 pins, that's where you'd want to
pin
put
there.
them.
And you are able to do it with just 3 pins. Some people I know do it that way and just sort of hold it in place and pull and push with their fingers as they go. I like to pin actually a lot, because you do also want to go really slow when you sew a curve, just because you have to keep readjusting the how your piece fits underneath your presser foot to keep it in line and to keep it a 1/4 inch.
Right.
And every time you come to a pin, you have to pause and pull it out. So that definitely helps me go slow, because it's like a speed bump.
Exactly. Can you have me spoolie over
Sure.
there? You know, some people sew over pins, and it just scares me to death. I just can't do it.
I mean, it's fine as long as the needle doesn't break the pin and
but
send needle or pin into the center of your machine, which would be really bad.
Yep. And the curve seam thing, you know, every time I do it, I have to practice on things that I don't care about for like, I don't know, a while, half an hour, you know, just to get it back into my system, because you have to keep using your fingers, you have to keep removing the pins, and as you're seeing, probably, I'm using a tool called a stiletto, and Fons and Porter makes a great one with a rubber tip on it so it doesn't poke through your fabric, but it really helps you as you're doing a curved seam, because you can scooch, right? Do you use one of these, Heather?
Yes, I tend to use it mostly on the bottom and the top end, but I also tend to put a lot of pins, so
Yeah.
pins kind of do some of the stiletto work there too.
And you remember when we did that awesome show on glue basting?
We did. This would be great for glue basting. That's another great way to do this technique, is to use that glue basting technique on this curve.
Right. I'm always so nervous about these. Showing them on TV. Well, I hope I did okay. Let's find out. Okay, let's see how it is. Thanks.
All right, and then you take this over to the ironing board. And the nice thing about the curve pieces is they're pretty easy to iron, because they want to just push themselves out forward.
They want to rest. They've been through a lot.
So there you did.
Oh,
Not too bad for not practicing and warming up. It's a curved
I
seam.
didn't. I guess I'm just that good. No. Okay, so then you add your other piece. You know,
Right.
your other background piece, and then
Yes, I'm missing one. Yeah, you'd add your other side, line up the 2 edges, and then you're back to your orange peel.
So cool. Try one of these, and you know, keep looking for patterns. Modern Patchwork magazine, all kinds of quilts. Modern quilts are featuring this block, and you can really have fun with it.
Yeah.
Thanks, co-host.
You're welcome, Mary.
See you later. Bye.
Quilty is brought to you by
Baby Lock. Baby Lock sewing and long arm machines. From piecing to long arming for the love of sewing. Aurifil Italian thread. Perfectly suited for all your quilting projects. Dear Stella, a unique fabric brand with modern style. Fairfield. Together, we can make beautiful things. Hovels Sewing. Cut to the point with Hovels Sewing. Moda. Make something quilty with Moda fabrics. Northcott. Cottons that feel like silk. Omnigrid. Providing quilters with specialty rulers and accessories for over 30 years.